We start
So,
in 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just Echoes with just Ezichi today because Emmanuel is absent, but I have very special guests with me today. I am so excited to introduce my cousin Ijeoma and her little boy Ijeoma.
Hello.
hi.
Welcome to Just Echoes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a special episode, right?
It's an honor.
What?
It's an honor.
It's an oh,
Yeah.
touch my heart.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming. So, Aina, how are you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on with you? How is your summer break going?
It's been going good so far.
Tell me what you've been up to throughout summer. What have you been up to? What activities have you been engaged in? Give me the gist.
I came here to Birmingham as holiday to visit you, obviously. And before this, I've been playing sports like football.
You have a footballer in the family, guys.
Yeah.
Watch this space.
I'm a prospect.
Yeah.
And I've also just been relaxing.
That's nice.
Not up to that much.
Relaxation is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice. How about you? How are you doing?
Um,
How is life?
So good. I'm doing well, very well. Really excited to see you.
I
This
know.
is the first time I'm seeing you as Mrs. Sani.
Tell everybody.
So honestly, we'll be looking forward to catching up with you over this summer break, and it's just great to be here. Coming down with the kids to come spend time with our cousin Azzy.
One and only.
The one and only cousin Azzy. Precious.
We were going to have Aina's sister Chisom here with us, but unfortunately, she's not here. But Aina is going to speak for her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. So today's topic is going to be around parenting. So I'm just going to be asking you a few questions and seeing what your views are parenting here in the UK, kind of comparing it back home. I mean, obviously you have 3 kids now, all raised here in the UK. So it would be nice to hear what your experiences are like compared to back home. I don't know what you're going to use and compare it, but I know you know what parenting is like back home. So
how I grew up, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. How you grew up. Yeah, and comparing that to how you're raising your kids now. Yeah. But before I go into you, Aina, how do you think your mom has done so far raising you?
Well, very good. Yeah.
Yeah. Out of 10, what would you rate her?
10, obviously. I guess. Yeah. That determines how I behave. So I have to give her a 10.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It takes 2 to tango.
Son,
Right.
blowing you kisses. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Perfect score.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard different stories about different people raising kids here and how there are so many challenges that come with it. If someone should ask you what your experience has been raising kids here, pretty much like away from all your family, because most of your parents, your siblings are all back home. How was that for you, from like raising your first kid all the way to the third?
Yeah, I mean, that's a beautiful question. It's a really good start. So this is 14 years in the journey, actually. This year makes it 14 years. My daughter is a teenager. And it's been an incredible journey.
Yeah.
I believe you learn on the job.
Oh, definitely.
No school prepares you for it.
Yeah.
I would say that I have had to, first of all, seek God in this process for wisdom. The how, the what, the when, the why. Why? Because I can't raise my children the way I was raised. Not like there was anything wrong with the way I was raised, but that was in that time,
Yeah.
and we are living in a different time. So we are living in a different, unusual time. Things are like, volatile now. I mean,
Yeah.
up and down, so much, you don't even know what's going on in the society anymore. You can't predict. So I've had to really rely on God's wisdom to be able to raise them up. I mean, it's not been easy. My husband and I, have, had to like juggle. And it's always a blessing each time we have support from family when they visit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been 14 years of
Ups and downs.
ups and downs. But,
Yeah.
hearing my son giving me a 10 over 10, my son is 10 years.
Yeah.
It's comforting.
Yeah.
So it's
It shows that you're doing a very good job.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
everything you're learning is definitely, showing. It's showing in all your efforts.
Yeah. And I was going to add, in the wisdom, being a parent has made me a better person.
Yeah.
Because you can't you have to walk the talk. You can't tell your kids to be one thing and you do another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the times we live in. You can't say, "Oh, I can get away with anything." No.
You can't.
Yeah. You
They'll
have to be
question you as well.
Absolutely. You have to be role models for your children.
Yeah.
We're raising very wise children now, very intelligent, very smart. So it helps. You don't have any options.
Yeah.
If you really want to be a great parent, than to be better. You start to see the gaps in your own self.
Yeah.
And just put in the work. Yeah. So that has been my journey. It's self-discovery, improving. If I see the gaps, if I drop the ball, I pick it up, and I'll say, well, another day will be better.
Yeah.
You can hear the third one in
the
the
third one is
background.
already crying.
Yeah.
I think the learning as you go is really important. But I think one thing I want to kind of ask you now is, obviously you've had highs and lows.
Yep.
And you've kind of overcome most of them. So can I ask you what's one of your toughest experiences is or was raising kids here, maybe without your family around actually to help? When I say family, I mean maybe like your mom or sisters to help. Can you remember any example or time in your life where you were like, oh my gosh, this is a challenging experience, and how are you able to like overcome that?
Wow. I mean, so I don't even need to go far. I've got a 9-month-old baby. I mean, so you can see the huge gap.
Yeah.
Aina is 10, she's 9 months. So she's come along 9 years after. So that's a huge gap.
Yeah.
And, I'm older now. I'm still young.
Of course. I mean.
Hey. I'm sure. When I'm sure. Yes. He agrees. I mean, I'm older, so it just I take it back. Not really about being older, but you kind of forget. I mean, sometimes they say, "Oh, is this your first, or is this your?" I say, "No, it's my third," but there's a huge gap. So it's like trying to relearn, and the times are so different. From 14 years ago, from 9 years ago. To now, yeah. So I have to, things have emerged since, the time. So just going through that process again, just 9 months, going through delivery, going through the pain of, the recovery, of the giving birth again. Has been challenging. So I don't need to go so far. All I need to do is, even up to the pregnancy was different. It was smooth. But I think that's why I put my age. They had to always remind me that, hey, you're getting older. So you have to be mindful, of taking it easy.
It's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've been a big sister. Not sister, please. I'm sure you've been a really good big brother. How excited have you been having a little sister? And
very well. It's something that I've wanted from quite a few years ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I remember you were asking your mom about this not too long ago.
I know.
And God just answered your prayers, right? Yeah. So what kind of things you do to help your sister and help your mom as well?
Sometimes I feed her, sometimes I change her.
Oh, nice. You change diapers.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm sure that takes a lot of pressure out of mom as well.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because juggling your teenager and then your 10-year-old and
Preteen.
then
And now a baby, and he's been brilliant. Him
Yeah.
and his sister,
yeah,
they are the best,
support
Big
system.
best big brother, big sister ever.
Yeah.
Honestly.
This kind of brings in that whole comparison. Like, so imagine a situation where you were raising your kids back home in Nigeria. And obviously, in Nigeria, there's a bit more of like that communal living where it's so easy for you to say, okay, I'm just gonna drop the kid with, her grandmother or her, an auntie, a friend.
Yep.
You can't get that here. This is going to be a funny question, but
Yeah.
has that ever come to your mind like, oh my God, I wish I was actually back home raising my kids so that I can have this kind of support? Like, when you think about those two scenarios, what comes to your mind, or how do you view that?
Yeah.
Don't know if that question makes sense.
It does make
Yeah.
sense. I mean, there's sometimes it gets overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything, I'm just like, oh my goodness, I need help. But you see, it's just one of those things. I go through those moments, and I really wish I'll be like, I just need someone to care for her, change her, feed her. Don't even ask me, oh, what should I do? Just figure it out, But it's still, after everything, maybe someone comes in, dad takes over, sister takes over. But I do have those moments. And then it's just like, after just imagining it, just do what you
Just
have
come back
to
to
do.
reality because
Yes. But what I try to do is avoid getting to those situations where I feel so exhausted, like, oh my God, what is this? Why I'm too helpless. I always try, this is now being wiser, try not to burn myself out, try not to stretch myself out, but just take it easy and say, you know what, I've had enough for the day, I've done enough for the day, I need rest. And I remember with my son and my daughter, so the teenager and Aina and Chisom, the preteen and my teenager, when they were babies, then I remember my mom saying to me, right, when the baby is sleeping, sleep. That was so hard to do. Like, I would break the rules, and somehow I always had her to help me. But with this time around, I follow the rules. So that's the wisdom now. So anything, in fact, literally, I planned my naps around her naps. And so that has really been helpful. And, just having good people around. Sometimes I have friends that will come over, and
I was going to say, because, you've been able to build that
a community.
And I've also been lucky enough to be around as well. I came...
Is he always around? We always
around.
In fact, now being Mrs. Sani, yes, you've always been around for us. Even now being Mrs. Sani, I remember me telling Mr. Sani yesterday, I said, listen, Izzy needs to visit over. And he was like, oh, that's fine. He
said, am I holding her?
He's kind like that. He's a kind man.
Yeah. So, going back to like that comparison between the Western world and Africa, do you think so I think this is more based on like the values now. Obviously, there's a difference between raising your kids in Africa and raising them in the Western world. Do you think you'd ever take your kids back to get like that core, what's the word, training in Africa?
So I don't really, I'm not one of those parents that believe that you have to take your kids to Africa to teach them. They are already
like traditions, or
they can learn the tradition from anywhere. It depends on what happens in the house. And then my own personal opinion about this parenting and instilling values. What are the key values? What are the values I'm looking to put into my children? Am I just saying, oh, I just want them to learn how to greet? There has to be real tangible things. And I believe that you can instill those values any part of the world.
Anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing about back home is just like you have more support system, like you did point out.
Yeah.
We have, access. So support system is just the access to, you can have a driver, a cook, family members visit you. You have childcare. You don't have to pay, because childcare is ridiculously expensive here.
Yeah.
And you have to have trustworthy, reliable, childcare. Sometimes, childcare can disappoint you last minute and change your plans. But back home, you have parents, grandparents,
So
and
many
not just
options.
as parents, not just my husband and I, but they're also grandparents, uncles, aunties, friends, like you clearly pointed out. So that's the difference for me, is that having enough support system back home, compared to here, living abroad in the UK. And I would also say values, I can instill values anywhere. So
it all begins at home,
it
right?
all begins at home. So it depends on the home setting, really. So it's mainly support system. That's the difference for me. Having that amazing support system, making sure that we're not worn out, we're able to have access to everything, we're not limited by the surroundings, but values can always be instilled. So I don't think I'll send my kids back home.
No.
Back home will be for holiday, so that they know their roots. My kids love the
Learning
fact that they're
about,
African. They look forward to visiting home and, just being a part of where they are from.
So would you like to live in Nigeria?
Well, I've got a nice life in the UK.
Okay. You have a nice life,
I'm at school. I'm playing for my academy club. I'm also studying, so probably just for holiday.
So you think if you go back to Nigeria, it's all be taken away from you?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, fair enough. The football academy definitely will be taken away from you, so I understand you. Comparing how you were raised and how you are now raising your kids, what parenting style would you prefer? Or do you prefer? Do you prefer what you experienced or what you're giving your kids now?
Okay, so
if you were to advise someone, or if you were to do it again.
So I think I did mention this when we started our conversation, that the times that we're raising our children is different from the times I grew up in. So I am not that parent that would say, I want to raise you how I was raised, because I will be in error. I'll be in error because now I communicate with my children and I have to explain to them why. Why are you being disciplined? Why is it that I can't have something than just smacking them? So I won't just smack and say, oh, that's it, no answer. Nah. I will have to communicate, this is why, this is the reason why. And, when we were growing up, that's all our parents or our caregivers knew then. You just can't ask questions. Are you okay?
Get disciplined, no question asked, no questions asked. Yeah.
You have to just figure out things for yourself. But then, yes, we kind of turned out okay, most people said. But that approach cannot work now. Yeah. Because your kids are looking to still learn and they will find out whichever way. So I need to be the one giving them the truth. So, no, I will not adopt the way I was raised. I could learn some things from what I gained growing up as in my childhood. Yeah. And then I would, that's how even...
It's like you take what is relevant
and I apply it to now. And that is even still my parenting style. I take, even when I'm sharing with maybe older parents and I see their results, I would ask them questions. How did you arrive here? Whether male, female, I see things I like in people or people who have gone ahead or even people's personal experiences. I do learn from them. So for me, I learn and apply and I share. Yeah,
that's true. And at the end of the day, that's literally how you learn from experience.
Absolutely.
So you take what's relevant and you leave what is not really relevant.
You sift. You sift. Yeah.
That's really good. So, Aina, do you have any key pointers for us? If you were to give a parent advice, a parent that's struggling, what have you picked up from your mom that you think is a handy tool for parents?
Mm,
I have to think a bit for this one.
yeah, because I'm obviously not a parent, but
Yeah, but what do you think? So obviously your mom has been raising you, right?
yeah.
When you do something naughty or you do something wrong, and she disciplines you, is there anything that you can take from that that you'd like other parents to adopt as well?
Tell them why they're getting disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them what they done wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and how to do better, right?
Yeah.
How to get it right. Yeah.
Nice. Is my phone still recording? It's ringing. Okay. Oh. Okay. So this might be an easy question for you to answer, but do you believe in beating? Because beating is different from scolding now. So do you believe in beating children to train them or correct them?
No, I don't.
Straightforward.
I know we hear, I mean, people have quoted this in the Bible. They say, spare the rod, spoil the child. That rod is a significant of correction.
Mm.
Even in Psalm 23, the Lord is our shepherd. Thy rod and thy staff. Rod,
Comfort.
correction. Rod does not mean hitting. It's a way of correction.
Yeah.
And the way depends on what has been done and the child involved. Tailor-made. So rod is correction.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in hitting children.
Me too.
Yeah.
I stand by that too.
Yeah. I know most of us say, yes, it happened to us in school back home, but those...
You can. There are
done
other ways
away
to train children
with
without
that now.
actually
Yeah.
scarring them or
Absolutely.
hurting. Yeah.
Yeah. Our children need to have a voice from a young age. And a lot of those ways of correction, there are ways to go about it
Mm-hmm.
other than hitting the child.
Yeah.
So what it also shows that we become a better person in the process, and that has been my journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you keep learning from that, and it opens up questions that even you may not have had the chance to ask
Yes.
when you were younger.
Absolutely.
And the more they learn, the better they are in society at large.
Exactly.
So they don't approach tough situations with, aggression
aggression.
at first.
Yeah.
Have a conversation, understand the reasoning, and worst case, agree to disagree.
Exactly.
And move forward,
Yeah.
right?
We can either agree or agree to disagree and move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Do you agree with us, Aina?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're speaking facts, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned being in the football academy, right? And you're enjoying that.
Yeah.
So what team do you support? Okay, first of all, what team do you support?
Arsenal.
You're an Arsenal fan.
Yeah,
You're a gunner.
obviously you and Emmanuel, you guys support Man U. So
Emmanuel supports Manu, and I support Emmanuel supporting Manu. That's my strategy. So, what team would you like to play for in the future?
I don't know really.
Oh, you don't know?
It just depends what country I am in future.
Okay.
Probably if I stay in England, I would obviously want to play for Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
Second choice.
I don't know.
Are you sure? I'm
Yeah.
sure you know your second choice.
I don't know. I don't have any second choices yet.
Okay. Would you ever play for Man U?
No, never.
At all?
No.
So if they give you a contract that's way more than Arsenal, you wouldn't take it? I see.
hasn't got that
It
far.
hasn't got that far. Okay, I think that's been a really fun conversation. My last question for you is, so for any mother, going through a tough time, what is one scripture that you would ask them to kind of reflect on and grow with, or get through that tough time with?
Okay. I love it. One scripture, so you don't go about the bush. So I love that question. One scripture I would like the mom to hold on to is that our children will be taught of the Lord. I think that's Isaiah 54. All your children will be taught by the Lord, and great shall be their peace. So I've held on to that scripture. I mean, this is just like anything. I'm just like, no matter what it is, no matter how tough it's going, no matter what we see in the media, with everything going on in the world, I always remember my children will be taught by the Lord, and great will be their peace. So God teaches them, because God owns them. We are just his earthly caretakers.
Yeah.
So God teaches them, and they will enjoy peace even in a troubled world. So my encouragement is to the mom is make sure you just expose your children to things of the Lord, saturate them with, godly things, and allow the Lord, just begin to do a work in their heart, really.
Yeah.
And trust him to make everything okay. Don't give up. Do not give up.
Yeah.
There's
It's
hope.
very, very, very powerful.
Yeah,
Because sometimes it's really not easy. So
it's not.
you need to hold on to something greater than you. Yeah.
Yes.
So rounding up, Aina, is there anything you'd like to tell our viewers? We have a goal for the end of the year. Okay.
Subscribe to the Echoes. They're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
Yeah. Any friends you want to shout out?
No, not really.
It's like, okay, I don't care about my friends right now. Okay, guys, so you heard Aina. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So please share this video. I'm going to put my cousin Ijeoma's handle on our screen somewhere as well. So check her out. She has a lot of powerful things on YouTube. So don't be dulling. See you later. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend, and leave some comments as well. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.